Hello, hello, hello. Good morning, everyone. Good morning, folks. How you doing? How it was this couple of days? Doing some great job. Oh, good afternoon from India. That's cool. Um, Actually, in Spain it's 9 a.m. So it's good morning. Yeah, everything's great. Everything's great here. So yeah, see. Can you hear me? Is the audio okay? The image is okay. The sounds okay. Everything's okay. If anyone can confirm, sometimes you have some technical issues. Um, oops. Uh, 9 a.m. is pretty early for me. Well, it depends. Depends on what you have to do. You gotta get to work. Maybe it's not too early. 12 a.m. here. Oh, from LA. From LA, that's cool. Planning to visit LA soon. Hope so. Yeah, yeah. Um, you should get some sleep. Someone's saying. So, first of all, present myself. My name is Snowfall. I'm a village coach since a year and so and something. And today I'm going to do the following workshop. As you can see, as the title suggests, it will be more about security and authentication on APIs and how you can make your API indestructible. Not indestructible 100% because we will see that it's really hard with some examples from companies that suffered attacks and really big companies like LinkedIn. And let's see how we can prevent them as much as we can. So now the advantage we have nowadays there's an advantage and disadvantage regarding security. The first of all is that we already had a lot of issues in the past with security, big companies being attacked, big companies being hacked, data getting leaked, everything. So it's a little bit more patched, and there's more security uh, methods, let's say, or security knowledge in the tech world. And the disadvantage is that everything now it's more advanced. Now, like with AI and supercomputers, whatever, it's really hard to prevent attacks. Like, let's say, I don't know, like hard uh, coding passwords and things like that. It's getting pretty tough. So yeah, but every day there's new hackers coming with new stuff, new even scammers trying to steal data or trying to find some breaches in APIs, websites, um, applications, whatever, to get data and use that data in an evil way. There's the other, in the other hand, we have the good hackers, let's say, and they just simply send an email to the company saying, "Hey, this data is exposed. You have these kind of issues. Fix this." And sometimes, most of the times, companies even pay the good hackers, let's say, for preventing the bad ones to get into. So, yeah, today we're going to, first of all, know what are we going to do. Second, what is security, the type of authentications that we can use to prevent uh, hackers from our API. In this case, will be specified in APIs, but there's some techniques that maybe can be used for other, let's say, websites or whatever. And then we will get into the an example. Yesterday we built a small API for the people that was in my stream. We built a little API that allows us to create some users, store some users, delete users, update some users. It's well, for the people, for newcomers and people that are new, the code is uploaded in GitHub, so you can check the code, and we will review the code before starting to modify it to make it more secure. But if you want to check out the code, it's let me check the file. Okay, it's this one. Just in case you wanna, start uh, installing the code, or just getting the repo to test it. And if you have any question, just pop it on the comments during the stream. It will be much easier for me to kind of help than after the stream, because sometimes people are not that used to, you know let me write to an follow to see, because maybe someone's shy. So try you take your time to ask anything in the chat during the stream. So yeah. um Emmer Clue, am I late? Nope, you're not late. I was just welcoming, so, and talking about a little bit what we're doing today. So let me see. um okay. um I want to share with you this screen. um okay, so yeah, basically we will just understand the importance of the API security, learn some common authentication mechanisms and authorization, and then we're going to implement some security measures in the code that I've just sent to you that we built yesterday. If you missed the stream, don't miss it. Go to YouTube and just check it if you want. And yeah, let me see if there's any question. Maybe not. Oh, no worries, man. No, you didn't miss anything, Corinson. Okay, so first of all, what is like what is security in APIs? Because we've all heard APIs, tokens, API key, API secret, key things, and GWS thing, whatever. So basically, it's just an entry point for accessing the API and the data functionalities, making probably is the it's the most wanted target for attackers, just because the APIs normally they use to retrieve data, change data, delete data, do whatever actions. It's like getting direct access to do whatever you want. So it's really juicy for hackers. So that's the kind of importance. There's some different threats, when you're developing APIs. For example, there's some SQL injection attacks, XSS, cross site scripting, broken authentication, sensitive data exposure. Sometimes there's no monitoring, so you're not really understand what everyone's doing in your API, or let's say logs, or because most of the time when you use like an API key and token, yeah, DDoS, there's a bunch. There's, yeah, botnets. There's a bunch. These ones are some of them. And when you sometimes, let's say you have an API that just gives access to delete users to administrators, and you have a data breach, or you have something wrong registering the permissions, you can get everyone on. Let me see, like, I don't know. Imagine the Instagram API. Um, okay, let me share this one. Okay, imagine the Instagram API um, given access to giving access to everyone that uses the API to modify users' profile images. Let's say, because the 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 permissions are not right or whatever, so they have access to it. That's a mess. Let me see if we have some questions here. Um, okay, let me see. Mr. Clueless. I want to know, other than cores, how to implement beer token out for an API endpoint. I really get confused with JSON tokens and stuff. An explanation here will help. Yeah, we will get into that later on, seeing some examples and with the new implementation. So stay tuned for that. Um, yeah, okay. As we can see here in the image, we have some different uh, authentication methods. There's basic authentication. Basically, some advantages of basic authentication is it's a basic authentication and easy to implement. You just only require um, the inclusion of the credentials in the HTTP request headers, sending them to the server, and just try just seeing if the user and password exists, and then get back the request response, and otherwise you'll get like unauthorized or whatever. But with its simplicity, there's some disadvantages to it because it's more risky. So the credentials, like let's say the user and password, are sent with every request in literally plain text, making it susceptible or to interceptions. So let's say you make a request to a website or whatever, and you just get back and there's like a middleman or something. You just can intercept your credentials and simulate the same response. Well, you can change the password, but if it's someone that's still in the middle, you'll just give them the new password and the new password. So it's a little bit more risky and it's more limited. So it lacks like advanced features like token expiration or revocation and stuff like that. It's more manual. And the usage of this method, I would say, it's more for internal APIs or services where security is less critical. Uh, I don't know, such an internal tools or development environments. Sorry, in communities or companies. And yeah, so let's see. We have, for example, the API keys. Yeah, API key authentication. So basically, you just create the key, it stores the key, and access with the key to the API, checks if the key exists. So yeah, and just get to the source. So the advantages, first of all, is lightweight. API keys are really easy to generate and manage. Typically, it just consists of a simple string of characters, as you can see. And the other, I would say, advantage is it has granular control, let's say. Okay, it allows for rate limiting, for example, usage tracking, access control based on individual keys. So you have like a really detailed control and what it's being done with the uh, API keys. And disadvantages, I would say it's limited in terms of security because API keys do not authenticate users. So it's they're really vulnerable to theft if not handled securely. So um, because there's a difference, okay, between authentication and and authorization. So authentication is basically authenticating the user, saying, "Hey, this user is real and exists." So basically, and authorization is once the user is authenticated, you check if it has authorization to make the request or what it's about to do. Okay, so sometimes we confuse the terms. Okay, I think it's a conversation there happening. Okay, So basically, some people confuse authentication and authorization. So it's not the same. Authentication is authenticating the user. So it's the uh, let's say the user and password, the tokens or the API keys or whatever. And authorization is checking if it has you can have you can be authenticated correctly into an API. Let's say uh, yeah, let's use Instagram because it's easier to figure, and I think everyone knows what Instagram is. So let's say you have authenticated into the API with your API key and API secret, whatever. Um, API key and API secret, and you want to access some kind of data that you have. It's just for administrators, so you'll have an, an authorized error, but not an authenticated. Because you're authenticated, your user is real, it's not fake, or the password exists, but you don't have access to it. So yeah, and this is, yeah, that's the some of the disadvantages, and most of the times it's used for accessing third-party services or APIs where user identity is not required, such I don't know, accessing like a weather API or geolocation service, for example, Google Maps or the Binance. So most that's why of the times when you're most of the times when you're, for example, um, want to use some API in a hackathon or something, you just get the API key and the secret, and you just store that, and you just make the request with those values. So let me see what we have here. OAuth authentication. Okay, that's commonly known as OAuth 2.0. So basically, some of the advantages is that it delegates authorization. So basically, OAuth 2.0 allows user to grant third-party applications limited access to the resources without sharing their credentials. Okay, so that's basically so, and it's more flexible. It really supports various types tailored to different use cases, such as let's say authorization code flow for web applications and client credential flow, or let's say machine to machine or computer to computer communication. And the disadvantages, it's like more complex, really complex to implement correctly. It's really challenging because it's really complicated, just to lead to potential security vulnerabilities if not done properly. So it's really tricky, but it has some great security advantages too. So yeah, um, this one is usually used to control. Well, let's say the scenario for this one would be where third-party applications need controlled access to user data, for example. Let's say social media integrations or accessing cloud services. So yeah, probably if you use some cloud based services before, you've used it. And there's the JWT, known as JSON Web Tokens. It's basically one of the main advantages is that it's stateless. Uh, the JSON Web Tokens are self-contained tokens that contain all necessary information, eliminating the need for server-side state storage. Okay, and it's more scalable. Since they are stateless, they're well suited for distributed systems and microservices architectures. Um, let me see. Let me see. Okay, I missed here the. and token. Okay, can someone please summarize the question, because I have the whole chat and there's a bunch of messages responding. Please, and we will get into that. Um, Let me see. So for the authorization, as far as I understood, we need an API key which will authenticate with the API server and check if it's valid or not. If yes, it will allow verification access. Yeah, yeah, basically that's why you you're well you don't create the API key and the secret when you want to use, I don't know, Google Maps API, for example. You just generate them and you can delete them. Let's say, for example, let's say someone stolen from you the tokens. You can just delete them and uh, th- they will be useless basically. So there's even some APIs that I think they require you to change them every 90 days or something for security reasons. So yeah, thank you for summarizing the question. Um, okay, let's see another tip for me. Give me a website. Okay, I don't know. I have this one, for example. Okay, this one is a website with, let's say we want to scrape this website. Okay, uh, I don't know. Do you have any other website you want me to use? Any suggestion? Any suggestion? I want to see. Just give me a website you like. Let's try that one to see. Oh, Global Hack Week challenges. I don't know if Flutter. Yes. Okay. Global Hack Week challenges. Okay. Let's see. Let's see if, because some, I don't know if this one, because probably there's no data to retrieve, really important data to retrieve. I don't think hackers have that much interest in these ones. But if not, we will try with the other one. Okay. So first of all, we go to network. We check what it's charging from the background, and then we can see. Let me just order this. Sort by waterfall. Okay. Okay. So let's see the response. This one has no response. Probably this one will have. Okay, security. Let me see. Not this one. Okay. Nope. Let me see this one. Settings. For example, I don't know because this one. Let's try with another one. Better. Got 404 got warned. Get warned. Yeah, let's get with this one. Okay, so if we see the network, okay, let's charge the website. Let's say I want to scrape this website and I want to get all this train information in real time, and I want to just create a script. Okay, let's see how the ADIF in this case. Basically, ADIF it's sort of like a company, governmental company or something like that. Like that is a train company. They have railways here in Spain and a bunch of trains and stuff like that. And let's see how the developers of this website took the security. Okay, so for example, let's see where all this data is coming from. Okay, in this case, it's coming from probably this is a configuration. This is not. This is a JavaScript that is loading on the background. Um, okay. So horarios basically is. Let me get this bigger. I don't know if you can see it. Okay, let's see. Horarios basically is schedules. Okay, the date. You mentioned just to make. You mentioned Sunday, so it's today, and we have the schedules. Okay, so the schedule, the zero, this one is airport at 9:44. Okay, it's this one. And airport is where the 57. Oh, okay, it's this one, I think. Okay, it's the this one. So we have 9:44. It's this train here that goes to the airport. There's another one at 9:57, and that's this one. So we can get the data from here. Let's see how this request is being done. Okay, so let's go. Uh, Copy and then copy a squirrel. I don't know if you did some scraping before, um, but yeah, this is a good way to learn. Okay, let's go to this website. Basically, it converts a curl into Python code. Okay, it will be more clear. Okay, so let's see. This is how we make the request here. Okay, we make the request with all. Okay, I think I copied it twice. Let me see. Okay, yeah, I think it's okay. It's like an infinite loop or something. I don't know what happened here. Let me see. Let's copy this. Copy a square. Oh, okay. I think I missed the copy a square. Okay, okay. Now it should work. Okay. So this is the request that it's been done. Okay. So we have the params, the parameters, and basically servicio en estación port. It's like station services or something like that. We don't have much information here. PP life cycle it's two. We don't know what that means. So for the moment, we'll just take it. Resource ID. This is the consultar horario. Basically, it's consult schedule, check schedule, or something like that. And catch level page. We don't know what that means. Assert entry ID. We don't know what that means. We don't know what this means. We only know what this means because this is like the station code, the computer network. I don't think this will change. And we have the URL. Okay, so if we copy this request and we go to Postman, let's see how we can avoid, for example, the security of this website to see if it's well done or not. Okay, let's see. Let's try to hack or not hack, but like reverse the request to see how the security is done and how we can improve that. We see this one. Probably the cookies, as we can see here, the cookies have this session ID. Okay, this probably will be the toughest part here because normally the session ID is something that is changing and you have to get somehow from the website, for example. So if we go, if you go here, for example, um, we make. Okay, so let me see the questions here. Using beautiful using beautiful soup, scrape data from Wayback Machine of the past 5 global hack weeks to validate they are all different. Try with different dates that we're going to get from website. If the main header they're not same, then that means they're different global hack weeks. But the first one, then second, and so on till fifth one. Store the data in the parent data currently global hack week website. It's not be the same if five one. I don't know. What did you mean with that? Uh, to predict. Oh, okay, okay. So, yeah, okay. Let's make the request. Okay, so we make the request and we try to replicate the request, and we see that it's working. Okay, so authorization it says inherit out from parent. It has nothing here. Let's go to headers. The headers, okay, the cookies. Let's delete the cookies. Let's just leave the session ID to see if the other ones are required. Okay, so we can see the only cookie we need is the session ID. Okay, that's cool. Let's delete this one too. I don't know if this one will work. Okay, we need the session ID and the the route ID one. Okay, I don't know what that means, but I know that we need this one that for it to work. So as you can see here, this is not a really secure API because let's see, we had a couple of parameters, these ones, that I think we can just get from the web. I think so. And how we can do that to check where we can get this from? We just search, we look for the value, and probably um, okay, this is the request. Let's see, assert entry ID. Okay, so as we can see here, maybe we can get the this value from this JavaScript file. Okay, so maybe um, let me see. This is not here. Let's, because maybe there's some cached values and we cannot get that. But probably, I think we can avoid getting this info and we can still access. Like, don't change it and we can still make the requests. Because as we can see, we can just make the request again and again, and the time it changed. So I think with this data we can make the request. How secure is this? In this case, well, I don't think they have any security problem because um, okay. So hi, bye. I think someone left. Arman, have some rest. And I don't know how secure it should be, this one, because it's basically schedules website, but it must be, there must be some kind of security to it because it's necessary. So as you can see here, for example, the time is 9:45. Send. Okay, still at 9:45, obviously, because the train will come at 9:45. So this will not change. And yeah, I think we can get the results just copying the request from the website to get the information. And this is not secure, to be honest. At least as far as I know, this is not secure at all because we can get attacked really easily. Whether sort by waterfall. Okay, this is the request. I think. Nope, this is not. Oh, okay. Basically, this is the request, but the HTML request. So we can get the information from here too, scraping the HTML. But I think there's a better way, and that better way it's the JSON. Okay, it's this one I think. Okay, yeah, it's the JSON because obviously it's much easier to scrape or to parse a JSON with its fields and lists and everything than getting regex or regular expressions for each one. Okay, so this is a brief example of how you don't have to make your API. So let's go with some common problems. Do you want to check another website like not a global hack week or MLH website, some other website that you use in your country or government website or anything? Let's make the test if you want to see how it could be improved. Let's see, someone has any uh, let me see. Okay, redbus.com. Okay, let's see what redbus. First of all, let me check the website. I don't want to um, get into some. Okay, it's a bus. Okay, let's go. Now the website is checked. I can just read those. Okay, do you mean this one? Okay, let's try to replicate a search, for example. from a station to another and try to make the same request like to the server to get schedules or whatever. Let's say we want to automatize. Well, yeah, automatize. I don't know. Let's make a bot that gets us the best fares every day from the website, and they don't have an API. Okay, let's see how we can do that. Um, let's say Paris. Let's delete this because we don't need this. From Paris to London. Okay, and dates. Let's see, 17th, and we're coming back 24th. Okay, so we hit search. Okay, there's a bunch of from city. This okay. So I think this one could have nope. It's not. This one is not getting some information. Let's find the layout. This is not search preview response. This is not. Let's see where's the information coming from. Oh, this one is okay. Um, pay a bus. Okay, here we can see we have three results, and here we have three results. Okay, so if we go to inventories, we get this one arrival time 18th at 6:05. So this is the 6:05 result arrival, and 6:05 results type standard, BP type Paris, 17th of at 1945. So it makes sense the data from Paris Saint Denis University. uh, so yeah, this is the data we want. Okay, so let's see how we can replicate this request. So we copy a squirrel again. We go here. I use this because it's much easier to see the difference. Okay, so we have some different cookies. Okay, we have the country. The currency is in SGD. Uh, I don't know because this is in euros, so I don't think this is really important because SGD currency is oh, okay, Singapore. Okay, so I don't think this is important because it's not even using it because it's in euros. Catalonia. Okay, I think this is some. We don't care about the cookie because they are set automatically. So let me see. We have a comment here. Fetch. Shouldn't we filter fetch XHR? Yeah. Sometimes it's easier, but sometimes you cannot find the response there because maybe it's made in another way. Can you show how you're able to see the data in network part? Okay. Yeah. Basically, you just go to inspect element and go to network, and then you get all the files that it's being charged while you're running. Okay, so here we have, this is pretty easy to be honest, because here we have from city to city. Okay, as we can see here, there's not the name of the city, there's the codes. It's quite easy to get the codes because maybe if we just search, let me, oh, okay, it's here. Let me just search this, okay? Um, okay, here. Let me see where we can get the. It's probably there's some file here that will charge all the capacity. Let me see here and source city. Okay, so we can get the data of the city here, as we can see. Uh, which one is this? I think it's the same request. Yeah, it's the same request. So probably in the metadata somewhere here, inventory. Probably here we can find the cities, like with the city code and address. Not this one. The fair, London. What that was? Okay. Yeah, we seen that we can find the. This is the search result file. V4. Yeah, it's this one. Okay, let's see. Let's say we can get the data because we can get it. So we don't mind about these ones because we can map like all the different cities and say, hey, I want to go from here to here. And sometimes some parameters are not even required. So let's see if we can replicate the request here. Let's delete this one and go with ours. Okay, so we just passed this. We click send. Okay, we can replicate the request so we can keep getting the information. Let's see if we want to change from 17th of April to 18th. Can we get results from 18th of April? Okay, we can get them. Let's see where are the dates. Well, actually you can standards. Okay, so here we can get the names. Okay, it's not with the code we can get the names. So okay, yeah, the portal time 18th of April at 17:55. So it's pretty easy. Um, okay, let me see. Oh, okay, okay, I have because I have the cursor. Um, so we have to randomly find the request file, or is there some form of pattern we can follow to find it? So the thing with the files is that most of the times are there are some different if you go to fetch for example here, it's probably easier because you'll just filter from xhr type, and probably this will be the oops sorry, this will be the file. Okay, uh, but sometimes it can be a document, or sometimes it's just whatever. But yeah, fetch xhr, it will be easier, and most of them will work. So this is probably an API that they have, or well, just an internal API just to get the information and all that stuff. So as we can see, we can replicate it, and it's not that secure because if I want to make, for example, a bot, I don't know, I don't mean like hacking or stealing information or anything, just taking advantage of their API to make a personal bot to get like different dates and from different um, locations and see the best fares for me. So it's and but that leads to another usage of their API, and you're not going to the website, and and maybe they're monetizing the website like with ads and all that stuff. So it's better to go to the website and more um, I don't know, let's say moral to go to the website and search the bus as it is. But I think they have some constraints here, okay? Because probably you can make a bunch of requests every day with different session IDs, getting them, because it's really easy to figure out how you can get, for example, a session ID from the files. And if you go here, as you can see, there's the cookies tab. Okay, it's cookies and set cookies. The set cookies, basically with these requests, what we do is we are setting three cookies. Okay, so we don't need that cookies. We can just make the request, an empty request, and we can set the cookies, and you can have the cookies. Okay, so here we have 41 cookies set. Uh, let's see, 45 in total, but this one sets four cookies, this one three, two, one, whatever. So you can just make the request, set the cookies, and then make the request with the cookies that you needed, that you already gotten with the other requests that don't need cookies but set cookies. It's kind of mess, but it makes sense. Okay, so you basically can replicate the requests of with their API. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Don't do that. For sure. There's some websites still data. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I don't. Yeah, obviously, I don't think any website allows to steal data. It's illegal. Don't do that. Okay, it's not the way we're looking for that. We're looking at this, but we're looking at this as an evil hacker. Let's say a black hat hacker or someone that wants to mess up with their API. So that's the way we're looking at it. But yeah, obviously, if they don't have a public. Uh, okay, it's a great area to use API that is not actually public. Yeah, for sure. So you can, if you want to use it, for example, like this, you can write to the company and say, "Hey, I'm a student. I'm building a bot to get schedules, and I found that I can use your API to get the data. Can I use it?" And they can give you a permission, like the company itself, and say, "Hey, yeah, no worries, go ahead and use it as much as you want." But you need a permission at least, because probably it's not public and it's not meant to be used for everyone. So if you're a student and you want to make something and build something with a specific data from a website, you can ask permission. Probably they will agree, or you won't have that much problems with that. So yeah. Um, Let me see. Oops. Okay. Um, yeah, we will. Okay, let me see. Okay, what is the difference between cookie and token? Okay, basically a cookie, it's, let's say, an an ID that users, let's say websites, use to track, but anonymously, but not that anonymously. Okay, so for example, a token, you can have a cookie that it's a token. Okay, and when you access with your token, it set the cookie, so it can use that cookie, for example, to make other requests. Okay, and or for example, session ID, when you go to a website, it tracks you, let's say it tracks you with a session ID, and maybe it expires in 3 hours. Or if you're in a bank website, maybe they have an expiration of 10 minutes, or well, inactive 5 minutes or 3 minutes. And if you're inactive in the bank website for 3 minutes, they just kick you out, and you have to initiate or log in again. So that is obviously because you can forget your bank account open in a, I don't know, a library, computer or whatever, and someone can see your data. So they prevent this. And sometimes they prevent this from the front end. So if you're not moving your mouse, or you're in another tab doing some other stuff, it basically just kicks you out, because it's like, hey, you're not in your bank account, and maybe someone else will take your computer, whatever. Um, so yeah. Uh, mm, Asking permission is good idea, yeah. And most of the times, if you're just a student and they obviously see the intentions, and if you're asking, you don't have bad intentions, because you wouldn't be asking. So they will be okay with that, because for example, not for API access or something, but sometime for, I don't know, for learning purpose. I've talked with the API team of Amadeus. It's well, it's basically a flight scraping. Well, flights API that aggregates its GDS. They call it Global Distribution System, to get flights from different airlines, and they didn't have an API key and token, and the API was the pricing was really high, because it was meant for travel agents and things like that. And I just wrote to the team, the technical team, and said, "Hey, I want to make some tests with the API. I really like it and all that stuff." And they gave me like a sandbox API key and token, just to use for, obviously not to make real flight reservations, but just to get the data from hotels and airlines and all that stuff. And it was pretty cool. They were really happy to help. So probably they won't have any problem. So we are using reverse requests to get their data. Yeah, basically, this is one of the things that you don't have to do. And if you have an API, you don't have to allow someone to do. Okay, this is not an example of what to do, but what not to do. This is what it was meant to be. Okay, so I'm not showing how to reverse requests, but how to make that nobody can reverse requests from your API. Okay, so this is here what we can see here is some I wouldn't say bad development because it's not really sensitive data or something. It's yeah, it's pretty cool and common. There's a bunch of websites that don't have that a lot of security. But it's if you have some more, I don't know, you can make probably 3 million requests here every day and they will get a load. Obviously they will block you because they will see the request numbers, it's not normal or something like that, but you can use it. I don't think it's a really cost because even if you get all the data, probably you will have to go to the website to book the bus or whatever. So for them it's like, okay, I'm giving you the data, but you have to come to the website to book it because you cannot book it from data. Okay, so I don't think it's a problem. But if you're depends on the API you're working on, maybe you want to make it a little bit more secure. So let me check if there's more questions. If not, we will go to the technical part and to the codes. Um, are, uh, and so let me see. Are cookies stored in a local browser? Yeah, let me see where the show you where the cookies are stored. Okay, because I think you can delete them. Uh, Probably if we go. Let's delete this. Delete this. Okay, so here we can see the cookies. Okay, cookies. Let's see. Let's get this one. Okay, we have 45 cookies. This one is cookies, basically. Okay, if we go here and let's make this bigger, we go to cookies. Here we can see all the cookies that we have. Okay, we have country name, France, for example. In this case, geocurrency. Let's see the request that we made before. Okay, it was country, currency. Let's see, geo currency. Okay, this one was good. That's why we had euros. These ones maybe data from the website itself and where it's from. I don't know if it's a Singaporean website, but yeah, here we have all the cookies. Okay, we have the Barcelona where I'm from, Spain, Catalonia. It's like state or whatever. Here we have some. Most of the cookies are useless, to be honest, because they used to track. I don't know, maybe ads or ad blockers and I don't know things like that. But when you try to make a request, most of them are useless. You probably need some currency thing here, for example, the session ID that you can get from another site or whatever. So basically, this is the cookies. If you want to delete, for example, navigation information, you probably can go to application, okay, local storage or session storage here, and you can have some data here. Error cookie, I don't know exactly what that means, but you can go to cookies in this case. Okay, this is all the cookies set in this website. If you do this process in another website, you can see the cookies that website is setting, and you can try to figure out what they're trying to do with all these cookies and see if they're necessary, if they're not, if they're trying to do something that you don't want to do or whatever. So yeah, this is all the sessions that are being sorry are being used. If you go here and go clear, Yeah, you can delete them, but once I refresh the website, probably they will be set again. Okay, so as I told you, all the requests that are being done here, all these requests are setting some kind of cookies. Okay, if you go to, I don't know, I don't know, just let's go to this one. Okay, this one, for example, cookies, request cookies. This is the cookies that are requesting, and this is the response cookies. This is the cookies that these requests are setting. So once this request is made, with these cookies that we already have, we're going to set these ones. Okay, that's why you see here, when I recharge, for example, if I clear the cookies and I recharge the website, they start appearing one and after another one and after another one, and just get bigger the list. Okay, just every request get cookies and response cookies. Let me see. Oh, okay. The cookies are sent with each other. So cookies are for session tracking, can contain tokens, and tokens are for authentication authorization. Um, Most of the cookies, what they contain is a session ID. Okay, not the token itself, because you make the token with the authentication method, like on the request, like with the barrier token or whatever. But here, what you can see is probably a session ID. Uh, Session ID, or I don't know if which one is, uh, but this session ID probably, if you're making a request with a token or whatever, it will be set depending on the token, and it will give you permission to be on the website for XRI. Is a cookie, so a cookie is a collection of tokens? Not exactly. Basically, a cookie is an information that website sets depending on, I don't know, your location or what you uh, trying to do or whatever, is set based on that. It's not exactly like a collection of tokens. I would say the token is more in the request authentication. Do cookies last forever, or we given lifespan time to expire date? Um, they have an expiration date. Okay. So let me see. We can see an example here. Expire. Let me see. We have some information here. Expires max age. Okay. So this one, there's some cookies that expire. Most of them expire. So yeah, they have an expiration. Um, okay, so let's go with the code. Okay, let's go with the code. Let me see. Okay, so yeah, we can back reverse some API request. So that's not some development you want, just to avoid let's like a lot of usage. Okay, let's go with the code. I will. Okay, we will have some problems here because it's really small and I wear glasses and I messed up and all that stuff. And just kidding. Okay, this is the project we built yesterday. Okay, we will go through it. Just really easy project. Basically, we said, oh, okay, Pranav. Here we have Pranav, one of. Oh, okay, you're still here. That's pretty cool to see you. Um, 30 seconds. See you next part. Okay, so we have Pranav and Kosu. Okay, they're users that we registered in our API. So basically, we created some endpoints. This get endpoint, basically what it does, it returns the users that we have here in the list. Pretty easy. Now we have another. This is the we're using Fast API. So this stands for the Fast API integration. So this basically is the method. Okay, it's a get or put, delete, post, whatever, depending on what we want to do. In this case, this get users. This is a variable, okay? So this when you see like this brackets, it's a variable. So get user, the function name can be whatever you want, and we pass it the user ID that we got from here, and we go through users, and if the user ID it matches, just return the user. Okay, now we are assuming that there's just one user with that ID, obviously, because it will be randomly generated. So until here, everything's okay. So we have post users. The post users basically it allows us to register a user with a post request. If you missed that stream, I recommend you to go back and see it, because I've explained more in detail everything. So create user, we give it a user. Basically, here we use Pydantic. Pydantic is basically a library to model data. And new user, the ID will be generated with this library. The username is the username we set, and the email is the email we set. Okay, everything's clear here. Quite easy. And we append the user to the list, and we return the list. Sorry, we return the user we created, and 201 like no error. So put, the put basically allows us to update users. So if we want, we're using the same as this one, okay, the same endpoint, but the method is different. Don't be confused with that, because it's not the same a put than post. So put, now we want to update user. Okay, we just pass it the user ID and the new user information. Okay, so we go through users, we find the ID that matches. It will be unique, this ID. So so okay, and username, email. Okay, just we set the new information to the fields, and we return the correct one. Okay, we just update the list. In this case, it's a list, but in a real case, it will be database, or I don't know. Okay, I don't know why my camera just shut off. Sorry for that. I didn't see it coming. Okay. Let me see. I don't know why it's failing. Um, Technical problem. Okay, let me see. Um, okay. Seems like it's not connecting properly. Can you hear me, by the way? Um, I don't know what happened. Hear me, but not can see. Oh, okay. Now it's okay. I'm sorry. I had uh. Okay, sorry. I think it disconnected somehow. Sorry for that, folks. Um, what I was going. Okay, here. In a real micro change. Okay, thank you. Let me see. Audio, mic. Okay, so now it should be the same, right? Can you hear me? Good. Mm, hope so. Uh, yes. Okay. Okay. Thank you so much. Yeah. What I was going. So in this case, it's just a list, but in a real scenario, it will be a database or a Mongo or whatever. Okay. So keep that in mind. This is much easier. But if it's in a database, you just make a request to the database, check if it exists, and if not, uh, uh, just say user not found or whatever. And this is a delete. Okay, basically, it's, as you can see, it's the same endpoint. Okay, but with different requests. Delete user, we give it the user ID, go through the user ID, pop from the list, return deleted. If we don't find the user, just not found. Quite easy. Let's see how it works. Okay, just Python
Okay, now we have it on localhost port 38000. Okay, gets. Okay, let's get the users. Okay, we have Pranav and Kosu. Okay, let's see if. Okay, let's see if. Thank you for sharing the code. Um, able to relate what happens in. Okay, let me see. Please add one line comments so whenever we revisit the code on Git, we'll able to relate what happens in the session. Okay, we'll make sure to comment it. Okay, thank you for the suggestion. So we have Pranav and Kosu. Okay, two great attendees of yesterday's uh, session, and let's see how we can create a new one. Basically, we make a post request to this endpoint. Okay, as we can see here, this will be this one. Okay, post the user, and we pass it the a user as the body. Okay, so basically it will be the username and the email. Okay, in tech, I think it was someone from yesterday. Okay, we just insert the user, we get the user information, the ID is automatically generated, and then if we go to get again the information, we will get the three users instead of just two. Okay, if we make the same process again, but with me, let's see, now file, send, save. Now we go here, we have all the users. Take in mind that this one is stored in memory, okay? It's not in a database. So if we rerun the program, it will just have the two initial names, okay? So keep that in mind. If you see just these two disappear after rerunning, it's because they're stored in memory during the program's execution. So, and there's the put, okay? Let's get my user and say, go to the put. Here, we use the user ID because as you can see here, with you for gets, where's the put? Here's the put, okay? We use the user ID um, to reference the user, okay? So we just uh, put the user ID, go to the body and say, uh, alpha d dot b update that xml. Okay, now it's updated. If we go to the endpoint, we can get my my user updated. Okay, it was nullful, now it's nullful db, and the email changed. Now it's updated at the example. And delete, if I want to delete my username, I just copy my username ID, just go here, paste it, send, user deleted. Let's check it, and it's deleted. Okay. Um. Okay. So let's go. How we can try to authenticate this user, for example. Uh. Okay. This one. Okay. How we can authenticate the users. Okay. So first of all, we will stop the program from running. You will have to rerun it again. Uh. Using Mongo. Okay. So we want the username the same, Pranav. The email will be the same. In here we can have so we have the username already. So we can add a password, for example. Okay, so Pranav will have a password that will be password. Let's say pass, and it will have a role. Okay, so this is important because the role is really important. Okay, so we have this, and now we can copy this and apply it to uh, Kosu. Okay, the password will be the same, but the role will be different. Now we have what we can do, user. Okay, so now we have a role and a password. Okay, so Pranav is an admin, so probably he can delete and update users and insert users. And let's see the role user Kosu can only retrieve users information. Okay, so how we can do that? First of all, we need to change some things here. Is the base the user is not only the user. We need to make three models, different models. One to update the user, the other one for the response, and the other one for to create the user. Now you will understand what I'm talking about. So it will be the first one will be user create, and we'll have a username, the email, and the password. Okay, and then we will have another one. It will be user response. Okay, oops, no, user response, and it will be the base model. We talked about all this base model and all these details in yesterday's session. So not to repeat myself, make sure to go check it and see what's going on. Okay, so we have a pretty cool session here. Okay, now user response. In this case, we just want to give role administration role to for nav. So the other ones will have all the same role. Okay, let's say will be just users because we don't want to make everyone admin. So the string. And the other one can be okay, the user update basically. So it will be the username and the email. Username, the email. Okay, yeah. So then we just create a variable called security. We're going to use HTTP basic. Okay, HTTP. Sorry, HTTP. Okay, HTTP basic. And I think it's not imported in this case, so we're going to import it later on. So HTTP basic will be uh, from from Fast API security, and basically it's basic authentication. So with that got it. Now the thing here is that as we talked before, crude. Okay, haven't used SQL. Okay, just let me answer the question real quick. I have used SQL only. I haven't used SQL only MongoDB. It is easy to dive in. Yeah, it's pretty easy. I think with Mongo, the most complicated part, from in my opinion, is the querying. You know, just like getting the information. It's a little bit strange at the beginning. It's not like select all from. It's like find point. You have to put the pattern, and then you have to. But it's a little bit tricky at the beginning, but it's quite easy. Okay, so yeah, I recommend Mongo if you don't need like a relational database or anything. So again, what we've talked about is authorization is not authentication. Okay, authentication is knowing the user. So if the user exists, if we have the username and the password is all okay, and authorization, authorize is when you give access to to do some things and not other things. Okay, let me check the battery of the it's 72%. Okay, it's cool. So yeah, now we define some roles. Okay, we have the role admin and the user. So Pranav can do whatever he wants, but the Kosu can just sorry, the Kosu can just uh, let's see, get user information. Okay, so we define authenticate, for example. Sorry, authenticates. Okay, so in this case, okay, we're not going to use that. Credential, we define credentials. It will be HTTP, no. not this one. It will be HTTP basic. I think it's called basic credentials. Okay. Uh, um, HTTP. I think it's HTTP basic credentials. Yeah, it will be. Oops, no, not this one. It will be security, security. Okay, so probably we need to add this security and HTTP basic credentials. HTTP basic credentials here and import fast API probably HTTP exception and the security and the pass just to avoid this. Okay, now we'll talk about what every part does. So basically, what we're doing here, we will be using HTTP basic credentials. You can use whatever you want. So if you go here, you can see we're using this one. You can use HTTP authorization credentials, or you can use a bunch of them. So in this case, just to make it more intro, we're going to use this one. Okay, but just take in mind it's the same. It's different methods, so it's really easy to implement one or another one. But in this case, we'll be using HTTP credentials. Okay, basic credentials, and yeah, for users, basically. Okay, let's start with user. Okay, user will be at the beginning none. Okay, there's no user. So for we will going through users in the list, and if the username is equal to the credentials username, the okay, so the credentials username is the basically the username that we pass to the function. Okay, so we pass a username and a password, and this will check if the username and the password make sense in the list, okay, that we have of the user to see if it's okay or it's not okay. Okay, so basically, if the user and the password matches with some of the users, you can just set user to, let's call this u to make it u password user is equal to you. Okay, so user will be equal to you. Okay, yeah. So and then we can just break. Let me see why it's not accessed. Maybe we're using it in another way. Let me see. Let's see the. Okay, so we have the user set to none. In this case, we don't have any. So okay, return. Okay, let's go. Okay, so if the user, oh, okay, obviously because we're not using it. Uh, so we're going to break it. So if user is none, okay, this should be Python. Okay, it will be here. So if user is none, we'll just gonna let me. Okay, and we're going to raise an exception, saying, hey, the invalid, it's an invalid username or whatever with the status code of 401. Okay, so this one for to check if user is authenticated. So let's go with the other one. Let's see if it has authorization. Okay, so let's go with authentication. Author is authorize. Okay, authorize user. Let's see if this copilot code makes sense. Authorize if user role is equal. Praise permission denied. Okay. Okay. Now it makes sense. So, okay, this one is for to just give access to the users that need an admin permission. So this will make sense in a moment. Okay. So to get the lists, okay, let's see. Uh, we have get users. Okay. Let's add the response. Let's put model equal to list with the user response. Okay, response. I will upload the code so you can check it. User response. It's not defined. Let me see. Okay, response. My bad. Authorize. Okay, we were here. Okay, so basically we're just trying to specify what kind of uh, response model that we want. Okay, it's just to make sure that we're getting the exact of what we need. So yeah, so and the get users, and then the user, it will depend on authorize. Okay, so basically what that means is that if it's oh, okay, it's missing some. Okay, so that means that with depends, basically what we do is we create dependency on another function. So let's say if it's not authorized, we'll not be able to get to um, to get back the users list. Okay, so let's say does anyone? Okay, let me see. I have does anyone know where is the hacking with a web scraping session? I don't know if hacking or something, but I've done some scrapping websites before. I can't tell you the global hack quick, to be honest, but yeah, we did something. It's, oh, okay. We have some. Okay, so I think it was postponed. Okay, thank you for answering. Okay, let's go with the code. Okay, let's go. So now we have the users. Basically, yeah, this will just require to be an admin just to get all the users information in this case, for example. So now we have users in user ID. Okay, basically the response model gets get user ID. Again, we can add the response model. It's really recommended just to make clear what we want to get. And with the get user, we just pass the um, sorry, the user ID and the user. Okay, so with the user, the pen authorize again. Okay, so for, and then we can just uh, for you just not to for, okay, I think something's missing here. U ID. Okay, for users, if the ID is equal to user ID, get back the user. Basically, with this, what we need is to be authenticated. Okay. So yeah, if this is not complying, okay, let's say this is not complying, we're not getting the information. Uh, so yeah. Let me see. Any question? No. Uh, no. User ID. Okay, this is not. This will be user. Okay. User date. Okay. Uh, the original time. Mm-mm-mm. Okay, so time. Okay, we're good on time. Okay, let's try these ones. Okay, let's try the the get users and get user by the ID. Okay, let's try these ones. The get and get user by ID. Okay, let's run this. Let's go. Cross fingers. Let's see if it works. If not, uh, probably it won't work at the first time. That's the law of the programmer. Okay, user is not defined. Where is user? Okay, this will be user. In this case, it will be user response. So it will be user response, and this one will be with user ID. This will be user response to user response because we've changed the model name. So now, yeah, now it should work. So, what do you think it should do right now? The API, the API. What do you think? This law is absolute. Yeah, it never works at the first time. You know that, but you're still running it. You know, it's like the let's try, let's try thing. Um, okay, I think someone. Sorry, I just want to close this. It's sounding here. Okay, sorry. What do you think? You can find all this in Twitch. Oh yeah, you can. I don't know Twitch because I've tried to see some videos. I don't know if they're still stored, but yeah, you can try. If not in YouTube, it's 100%. They will be there. So yeah. What do you think they should do? With let's say, okay, let's go to the API. Okay, okay. So here we are. If we try to run again, get users. Oh, not authenticated. Oh, why is that? I'm not authenticated. Let's try to authenticate with basic auth. Okay, that's what we implemented. Let's try with prnav and password. Invalid credentials. Okay, so now we have the username and the password, but they're invalid. Okay, so let's see, because if we had nothing here, no auth, okay, it says no authenticated, so we have to authenticate ourselves. If we authenticate with a wrong password, it says invalid credentials. So can you see here the difference? Permission denied when we try to access. Okay, that's cool. Great, great. So now what we need Pranav's password. Okay, so Pranav's password is an admin, so he has access, and it's pass. Okay, so now we go back here and we click pass. Internal error. Oh, that one is interesting. Not expected. If user non-type is not executable. If user role admin. Okay. So what's wrong with that? Let's see. Uh, return away future non-type object is not scriptable. Let me see this error. What exactly means? I'll just look for this scriptable. So password role admin. Let's see here what we have. If user permission denied. Okay. Roles user role admin. Okay, let's debug this. Okay, it will be easier to debug. Python. Okay, let's debug this. Let's see. Now it's debugging. Okay, it's running and hit send. Oh, let's see what we have here. We have user is equal to none. Authorized. Okay. So this we can go here. Evaluates in the bug console. Okay, it's a non-type. So the user, it's a non-type here. Respond data model, get user. Mm, okay, let's see. The body, the header. Let's copy the body here. Uh, let's copy. Okay, let's hardcore the body here. In this case, be raw cancel. So let's restart this. Okay. Let's. This is how you debug uh, returning index without specific data type. Yeah. So let's see what we get here is the email is should be. Let's try to hardcore the email. Okay. And for now, okay. Surname. Let's try this one. Authentication for nav and pass authenticated. So the user still none authorized. Okay, let's try with uh, getting. Uh, mm, okay, let's try another one. Stop this. Let's try. Um, let's see what kind of error that we have. So we're not doing something. Depends. Get user response model. Okay, let me try another way. Okay, so let's see. We have. Let's try get user. So it should not be. Mm, it should not be that hard to see. So the error is in the get users. So response is the list, obviously, and the user should dig. It depends on authorized. So it shouldn't be failing. Hmm, something wrong here. Admin user is a role. Get users. Okay, I think it's a convert dig response to list. Let's perform string checking in the local scope. Okay, let's try something else. Let me just find this. Let's go. Let me see if I can non authenticate pranav pass parents. You have nothing. Uh, this should okay. Internal server. Now let me just check this error. Okay, just to let me see if I can find something. Mm-mm. Let's see if we can figure out this. Just not to waste time. Um, yeah, I will ask ChatGPT to see what's wrong. Maybe it can help, and we will figure out what was the problem. Let's see what was the problem. Try. Mm-mm. Should be a list. Yeah, obviously should be. Think so. In this case, keep user So maybe I think the error is in the authenticate part. Let me check. Authenticate credentials. Mm, mm, mm. Mm, Okay, this is good. And authenticate authorize admin responses. Let me ask it. Uh, okay. 35. Let me see. Someone said authenticate. Oh, okay. Okay. Let's see. Let's try. Let's try this from the chat. Yeah, makes sense. Yeah, makes sense. Thank you so much, Pranav. Yeah, it makes sense. Yeah, thank you. Okay, thank you, Pranav, for the help. So yeah, that was the issue. Okay, so let's try with another password. Um, let's pass to. Okay, invalid credentials. If it's okay, Pranav. Okay, let's try with the other user to see if we have access. Um, let's try with Kosu in this case. Let's go with Kosu. Probably will say invalid credentials or something like that. And okay, the password was the same. So permission denied. Okay. Yeah. So this is how sometimes with literally just a return you can get crazy. So yeah. So okay. So permission denied. So the thing here is that now we can authorize and authenticate. So basically, this is the main process that we can do. Just to make sure, I want to see if we can uh, create another one. So this one, okay. So we have 401 unauthorized and 403 forbidden. Okay, so it's really important, as I mentioned yesterday, to have really clear the kind of errors that you have. Okay, we're good inside. So it's really important to know the kind of error that your API have or how it responds back. Because if you give like I don't know, someone's trying to access the users, but they don't have let's say they don't have permission to access the users, and you say, "Hey, user not found." That's not right because the person who's using the API will think, "Okay, the user it does not exist, but you don't have permission to access it." So it's a really different kind of errors. So it's really important to know to give the user's credentials error, the bad request or whatever. If it's a server error, probably it will just return a 500 as we saw in this case. And um, and yeah, so it's really important. Okay, so I will not because we're short on time. I prefer just to explain because this will be the same methodology. Basically, I will let me just upload the code to the repo. Git status. Okay, git add. Okay, the comments. Oh, I added some couple of comments. Authorized user. Let's see. Get all users. Users if the the user authenticated and have admin role. Okay, because it will just depend on authorize and authorize. It will just take care of if it's admin or not. And authorize it takes on authenticate. So first of all, it authenticates the user, and then it checks if it has the authorization. Sorry. And someone said, "Hey, can you comment the code?" So yeah, get user value if the user is authenticated and have admin role. Okay, that's great. So if you want to specify different type of roles, for example, let's say you have to get all users admin roles, and you want to create some different roles, like, I don't know, simple user role as we created here. Maybe this user can have another kind of authentication. Okay, so in this case, authorized uh, dev authorized user. Okay, so you can check if the role is user. Maybe so it can get really complex and really funny too. So in this case, we just created the admin to check if it has admin roles or it doesn't. Okay, so the username and the data, obviously you don't have to check it on the list. You have to check it on the database. So every time someone um, requests access, you can just check if it has permission or not. And or maybe you can just authenticate the user once, okay, with the user and password, and then assign a token and a session token, for example, and that token, it will last for 3 hours, let's say, or 6 days. So the user can just use the token to make the request and not use their password all the time. It's probably it's harder to, well, not harder, but maybe will consume more just to get all the requests from from the user stable, or maybe in the user stable you just have a hash. Okay, so this is another thing. A lot of people that I've seen have a database table that it's called users. Okay, and the users has user email, username, password, and email or whatever. Okay, don't save the password there. Okay, we can use save in the, okay, let's say you have a table, okay, called users. In the field of password, you don't save the password. Okay, you can save hash or a code or whatever that takes you to another it's a key, for example, in another table, like more secure table, or maybe an external database, just to have things separate in case you get attacked. So imagine you get attacked and you have just the table with a bunch of users, and the password is a hash, a simple hash. The most they can get is the email, for example, because with that hash they cannot figure out what the password is until they have access to the other database with all the passwords and the keys, the hash as a key. Okay, so well, obviously I'm talking about more sophisticated or big projects that require this kind of security, but otherwise you can just try to access that. So yeah, in this case we created this couple of permissions, and the response model, it's we talked yesterday about validation. If you missed the stream, check it out. We talked about the validation. So this is one of the types that we want to kind of validate if the model makes sense or not or whatever. So really important. Okay, I will just upload the code. Let's see, adding authentication, adding authentication. Okay, oops. I'll share with you the GitHub. Okay, there were some changes. Okay, um, okay, so I think it's cool. Let's use this one. Rebase, copy, paste. Okay, pull. Okay, push. There you go. Let me check the. Okay, so there you go. I'll just. Oops, sorry. I'll just send you the git merge. Nuance. Okay. Thanks for sharing these nuances. They are super important and necessary. Again, thanks, Nofo, for sharing sophisticated practice. Yeah, no worries. Thank you so much for attending. So yeah, basically, hope you got a little introduction on how authentication works and how you can make a little bit of secured. If you need the code, I just push the code to the repo. you can just check it whenever you want or copy paste it. You can even, if you want, just upload changes, open pull requests with changes that you want. I will accept them, or any recommendation, whatever you want. So feel free to do whatever you want with the repo. Um, so yeah, and yeah, uh, that's all. I think we have any more questions. Again, really important. Try to do, if even if it's just a personal API or uh, college API project, whatever. Try to use user at least passwords and authorizations, because if not, someone gets your endpoint, it can just start making millions of requests. And if you have the API hosted in a cloud server, or I don't know, Google Cloud or whatever, you will get like a bill of you don't want that bill to go up. So yeah. Any more question, folks? Did you have fun at least? Did you learn something? I hope so. Okay, let me see if I missed some question before. Sometimes when you're chatting here, the chat just goes crazy. A funny one. If it works, don't touch it. Yeah, that's the premise. Um, how do I watch the previous live video I missed for this program? Okay, so let me just share with you the YouTube channel of MLH. YouTube MLH. Okay, it's not this one. MLH, because I have another. Okay. Okay, there you go. You can check them on YouTube. Okay, because I think in Twitch, I don't know if they're safe. I think so. Um, I found it on YouTube. Oh, okay. Okay, thank you. Thanks. So through this project, are we actually helping MLH or just learning? Just learning. Just to have a community and learn, open pull requests. I know open source is really important. We've made Global Hack Week a couple of months ago, uh, a couple 3 months ago, uh, about open source, and it's really important to collaborate and help each other. Open pull requests, be able to review others' code, make suggestions, learn from that. So I think it's really important. That's why it's really voluntary. So uh, just feel free to chat with the folks, uh, create something cool, work together. It's really important. Um, you're really good at writing APIs and backend. Do you mind telling us how you knew this line of work was for you? I don't. I still don't know if this is for me. Now, okay. I'm really a finance guy. I really like finance and obviously development. So I'm not an expert writing APIs, but I've worked with them since, well, in my professional career. So I'm a software engineer, and we mostly working on APIs. So yeah, I don't know. I don't have any kind of degree on APIs. Just creating projects, going to hackathons, talking with people, learning one from different people, even reading blogs, posts. I recommend you to. I don't know if you know Medium. It's like a blog writing posts website, and sometimes there's some programming posts that are really interesting, like doing comparisons on performance, different languages, different kind of technologies, how to do. Uh, so yeah, basically just learn. I learn by doing. So yeah, that's it. Nelful, please share your LinkedIn profile. I know you're not super active there, but still it helps. Um, I think you can find it on the GitHub profile, on my GitHub profile. yeah, there's the link of my LinkedIn. I don't know the link, to be honest. I use it, but you can find it on the GitHub profile page. So yeah. Um, I learned a lot by watching others code. Yeah, me too. To be honest, sometimes I just put some random videos of folks programming random stuff and just trying to learn. Sometimes just really rare projects or games. I'm a quant aspirant. Okay, that's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. That's pretty cool and hard too. So you probably have to put some really hard work there, but I trust you. Pretty cool. Keen interest in quantitative finance. I love to talk more about finance now, not now, but in the future. Yeah, quantitative finance or quantitative trading. It's a huge world, and it's something that it's really interesting. Okay, how do you learn by doing when you're a beginner and just familiar with the basics of language? So you can try to, I don't know, for example, as explained yesterday, I'm working on a Telegram bot to do some random stuff. So, for example, this is just a side project that I'm not trying to monetize. Obviously, it's just for me and to use it on my daily basis because it makes things some more easy. Uh, Working on GitHub. Okay, I don't know if it's broken. Yeah, it works for me on the GitHub. The link it works. So I don't know. This probably you can find it here on the LinkedIn part. Uh, but yeah, you can work on things that it doesn't need to be really complex to start learning. So you can just make a small website, even a website replicating another website. Let's say you really like a website and the design you want to replicate it and make it similar. You can just go through the source code and see how it's done and how you can improve it. So yeah, just it can be small things or even hackathons. Be part of the team, and maybe there's some people more expert and some people less, some with more experience, some with less. That's the key of hackathons and meeting people. So you can just you know get some small tasks. Don't if you're a beginner or whatever, you can just get small tasks. Do this from the back end, and do this, and try to help. Yeah. So, what is simple to get is when you want to learn how to drive a car, you try to drive a car rather playing with simulated games. Yeah, because if you try to drive a car like in GTA, mm-mm, not working. At least in Spain and most of the countries, mm, I think it's not a good idea, and it won't be fine. So try to learn in a school, uh, auto school, or I don't know what it's called, driving school. So yeah, that's it. Thank you so much for joining. I hope you learned a lot. Hope you had fun. Hope you discovered some new things. Hope you take advantage of what we've done today to just improve your skills, work on something, motivate yourself. You can find the code on GitHub of this. You can play with it. You can change it. You can try to create more users with different roles. You can do whatever you want. Just fork the project and work on it. So so yeah, thank you so much for joining. See, there's no more questions. So have a great day, everyone. Hope you had fun. And okay, one question. Okay, one question. Simple. Let's go with the question. Okay, let me see. We're good on time, so just checking if someone's coming. So hurry up. Um, okay, yeah, someone. I think someone coming. Okay, finance. Um, Is that quant thing is same? Is that quant thing the same like happening at New York finance companies like application of ML? Uh, Something like that, or it's different. Uh, I think it's uh, yeah, as Pranab says, is everywhere. So I don't know what you mean, like quantitative trading or quant uh quantum computers. I'm not really into that word, so I don't know if I can help that much. Sorry, is in-depth knowledge. Okay, so quant is a person who uses his in-depth knowledge to generate alphas. Let me see. Three. Okay. Computer science and mathematics. Yeah. Okay, folks. I think it's time. Okay, I can see here a conversation. So, uh, yeah, thank you so much. I think I don't want to get late for the next great streamer. So, thank you so much for joining, and have a great day. Have a great day, folks. Thank you so much. See you in the next stream. Have a great day.